I was invited to speak here because I work as an outreach worker in the Project Outside, or in Danish Project Udenfor. And for the past 3 months I have been employed in an emergency night shelter in Copenhagen. Yeah. It is an emergency night shelter designed especially for foreigners. It was set up by 8 private social organizations as a reaction to the Danish policy that homeless people without CPR number are not allowed into state-funded or state-supported shelters in Denmark. We work only in the 3 coldest months. This is what we can afford at the moment. And this is the 3rd year. I will try to give you an image today of who these homeless foreigners are, what they are doing here. Henrik will later speak more about the very ambiguous legislation on this issue. And then we will, in the end, come with a few recommendations on what might be done to improve the situation. As I said, the night shelter was located in the crypt of a local church in Nørrebro, Samuel Church. And it was open from 9 o'clock in the evening till 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just going to take you through a small situational report or tale about what's happening so that you can meet some of the people who come there and who use the shelter. When I came normally to work around 8:30, we had already about 40-50 people waiting outside the church, anxious to get in. And when we opened the door at 9 o'clock, we had, especially in the last month, around 60 or 65 people rushing in the door. They were all very anxious to get first to the camping mattresses. These are the camping mattresses and sleeping bags, which were available because we had not enough. We had around 50 mattresses. Later more people came in, and in March we had around 60-70 people all through the night. One of the first persons to come in was a guy called Giorgio. Giorgio, he's 56 years old, he's from Italy, and he carries with him a large trolley, very heavy one, and we had to carry it down the stairs every night. Immediately, Giorgio heads for the corner of the first room because he's not interested in having any contact with any of the other users of this place. He goes to the corner, he places his trolleys and a lot of chairs to shield him from any of the other guests. He stays there, he keeps on all of his clothes for the whole night, his shoes, his many overcoats. He brings his own food as he thinks that the food we serve is poisoned. He has no contact with any other guests, and when we try to contact him from the staff, his reaction is very unpredictable. Quite often he directs a flood of abusive words toward us. For this reason we know very little about his background and why he is here with us. He refuses to discuss his health, although that his breathing is seriously impaired by what probably is an undiagnosed pneumonia. This condition prevents him from lying down for sleeping, and therefore he sits half the night on a chair. Also, some of the first to arrive is a young Roma couple. They are quite well dressed, they carry a little bit of luggage only. They are really keen to get to the large sleeping room here because they want to have a place near the heater. They have been staying with us for about a month, but we hardly know anything about them, why they are here, what they want, what they live off, and how we might help them, because we have no language on which to communicate with them. The girl in this couple, she comes to me quite often and asks me for painkillers. She's pointing to her throat, and I'm trying to direct her to a clinic, which I know take foreigners, but she's unable to go there as she cannot read the map which I'm giving her. They normally just go back to sleep and they stay there all through the night, and they wake up in the morning and go out again. A little later, we have Stanislav coming in the door. He has had a lot to drink because he found a great place for collecting bottles on this particular day. It means he bought a bottle of vodka. And he is 45 years old. He's from Bulgaria. He has been in Denmark for more than a year after he traveled several years in other countries. He looks worn out. He looks like a typical Danish homeless person. And it's clear that he spends all of his days on the street. In fact, he's well educated. He's an engineer. He has a specialty in electronics. He is divorced. He has one child, but he lost all contact with his family. And he tells me quite often that he doesn't want to go home for many different reasons. Normally, when the shelter is not open, that is 9 months a year, he sleeps outside an office building in the center of Copenhagen. In this place, he hangs out with his drinking buddies. They have lots of parties, but tonight he comes alone. They had a fight, which is quite normal. After he has eaten some soup, I suggest that we find a mattress for him in this place, and so he can get some sleep. And he agrees with this, but he finds that another man has camped in the corner where he usually sleeps. So a conflict develops because Stanislav, he wants this corner for himself. And they almost get into a fight, but finally we manage to direct his attention to another suitable place. He lies down and he starts scratching his arms and his back, which is covered in a red rash. At some point he had some liniment to put on, which we treated every night, but it's now empty, and another one is €8. And that's not the only problem. He has to get a prescription for a new one, and that's not possible at the moment. The little money he has, he prioritizes to buy alcohol, and he says that this is the only way he can stand to live this kind of life.